20 to 25 minutes, and then we will finish up your masteries from last week. So when we talk about statistical measure, well, so last chapter we were doing all things about statistics. So what is statistics? Like, what were we doing last chapter? There's another S word. We were taking groups from a bigger group. So we were sampling. So in statistics, we take samples. Why do we take samples? Who can raise a hand and explain that? Jeremiah.
So we can figure out a certain amount of information in a smaller way.
So we're trying to present information about what?
Our population.
About a population by using smaller sets of data or smaller data points, right? So that's what statistical measure is, and that really statistics is trying to communicate data about a group. So whether it's a group of people, a group of flowers, a group of numbers, whatever it is, you're communicating information. So statistical measure is how we communicate information about whatever it is that we're talking about. So Misadventure and Data Girl proposed different research studies of the local airline. So Misadventure wants to study how many people flew to Puerto Rico on a Tuesday. Data Girl wants to research how many people flew to Puerto Rico on Tuesdays. What's the difference? Andrew?
It's going to be, one's going to have a lot of data in it because Tuesdays is like a lunch and Tuesday is one.
Ooh. This is like past tense. We lost power, so I gotta reorient. But when she says flew on Tuesday, well, that's a past tense question. Data Girl, how many people fly on Tuesdays? That's a present or an active tense. So this, pick it up again, is more past tense because we have flew, and this is more active. Okay. Ozzy?
Could it possibly be biased?
What do you mean?
Like, what if that Tuesday happened to be like Christmas or something?
What if that Tuesday was like the Tuesday before a holiday break? And lots of families are going on vacation, and Puerto Rico is a popular vacation place.
Start a summer break.
So this could have more bias because it's one Tuesday. Whereas if this is active and collecting data from multiple days, what would we call this one? Should be more representative. So if we are going to help the airline decide which one they're going to fund, where should they put their money? Jeremiah?
This.
Yeah, so Data Girl, their money should go to Data Girl because her survey, her sampling is going to be more representative. She didn't just do it on a Tuesday. Maybe she tracked Tuesdays for 2 months, and now she's got a bunch of data. Yeah.
So how would you fund something
Do this. You're not asking about the math. You're just trying to be funny.
She's a statistician.
Yeah, that like being a statistician is a really good job. You have to understand stats very well. Your mom and I have talked about this before, actually. So these are our measures of statistical variation or statistical measures. So the first one that we have, you should all be familiar with this. The mean. What else do we call the mean? Is the average. So please here write average. Help you remember that? So we take the sum of the data and divide it by how many data points we have. We should be familiar with how we calculate the mean of a data set. Now, median is where people start to have their issues. Median just means middle. So median, kind of think of like medium salsa or medium whatever. You're in the middle. So this gets challenging because and this is what, hold on, I need you guys to write something down. It doesn't have to actually be a data point. So, this is confusing, but you'll understand in a minute. Doesn't have to, and in quotations, it doesn't have to exist. Your median value may not exist. Anyone think of a situation where we don't have an actual middle point?
Yeah,
If I had an even set of data. So we will then, if it doesn't exist, we will have to use the mean to generate a median. So we will use the mean to generate a median when we get to that point. So this is showing to you down here. So I'm just going to scroll my screen a second. So when you have an odd set of numbers, it does exist, it's easy, you have it. But when you have an even set of numbers, like it shows down here, I don't have a middle term. If I take one off each side, I end up with my middle being 6 and 7. So I don't have a term in the middle. So instead, I average them out, and I say that my median is 6.5 because that would be what's in the middle of those 2 points. Yeah, Sean?
It's funny when you say median and say middle, because my old they always say don't ever say middle.
Why?
I don't know, they just like said they median.
So the biggest thing, I'm glad you brought that up here, it's the middle when we're arranged in numerical order. That's probably why your teacher told you not to say middle. Because your data's not always arranged specifically, so we have to start by arranging this from the lowest to the highest in order for that to actually work to find our medians. Right?
Oh, and fifth grade they taught us that rainbow method, but I don't think we can use that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so they would do it from lowest to highest, and then they would do the farthest point back to the farthest point.
So we are doing some data research for the summer. There's tons of opportunity that Worthington actually offers up for how you could get high school credits over the summer by going on a vacation. So pretty cool stuff. We have groups going out and doing like marine biology research, going scuba diving in like Costa Rica or somewhere crazy like that. So yeah, all sorts of opportunities as you get up into high school. But let's say we're looking at Yellowstone National Park. Is it on topic?
Yes, it's about the mean.
Okay.
So when you say find the mean of the two numbers, is there ever a time where when you find the mean, it's different than the middle of the two numbers?
What does the mean mean?
Average.
So when I average two numbers, what will the average of two numbers give me? The value in the middle. So can you answer your own question?
Yeah, so you
That would
don't
never
exactly
happen.
have to find the mean of the
Right, so 6 and 7, that's easy. But if it was 6 and 19, that might be a little bit harder to figure out what's the middle between those two guys. So we add them up, divide by 2. So we are doing some research on Yellowstone. I would love to get out to Yellowstone at some point. So we want to talk about the intervals between eruptions. We want to know how long do I have to wait to see a geyser eruption. So we've got this data presented to us in, who knows what this is called? That's what, dot
plot.
it's a dot plot. So this is a type of kind of histogram, depending on what you want to do. But this is a dot plot. So I need to find the mean and median intervals between eruptions. Now, what do those stacked dots mean? What do those stacked, Ellie, what do those stacked dots mean?
It means it happened more than once.
Happen
Like,
more than once. So to start doing anything, what should I do with my data? You know?
You should see how many repeat.
Yeah, really, we should just start listing it out. So if I know this interval, well, if it's between 5 and 6, that would be 5.5. So we have a 5.5. Then we have a 6. Then we have a 7 and another 7. What are we doing? Yeah, why right now? Can we put our wire on the floor? Thanks. Then my next data point would be an 8, then
8.5.
an 8.5, then
10.
a 10, and a 10. So the first thing I want to say is how many data points do I have? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have an even amount of data points. So when I'm looking for my middle, kind of think of take one off this side, take one off this side, take one off this side, off that side, off that side, off that side. And I end up with my median being 7 and 8. Now that cannot be my median because I can't have two values. So now, Monica, what do we do?
Find the middle of them. Mean.
So to find my median here, we're actually using the mean formula. I'm going to do 7 plus 8, divide that by 2. I get 15 divided by 2. And as we could have told, with what is between 7 and 8, our median is 7.5. Any questions?
For our test for this one, do we always have to like do that? Like if it's an easy one?
No, you can just like box and notate, but most of them won't be that easy. So using that measure center, what inference can we make about how often the geyser erupts? So remember, an inference is a prediction based on data, based on what we know. Jaslyn, you got any inferences? So what could we say? If you were trying to present this data to somebody, you're saying, oh, based on our findings, I could say,
Well, we would have to find the average, wouldn't we? Like the mean, like to show. Wait. Okay. Can you repeat the question? Please?
hold on, back up, because what you just said is the key piece.
I know, but I don't know how to like.
So she just said, we would need to find the average. What does the median tell me about my data set? The middle. So all it tells me is half the data's under this. So half of the time, it takes less than 7.5 minutes. Half of the time, it takes more than 7.5 minutes. But my less than 7.5 could have been 2 seconds. My more than 7.5 could be 3 hours. I don't know. Median is not that useful. So instead, we want to calculate our mean, our average. So to calculate our average, I'm going to go ahead and work down here. So to calculate our average, or what we call our mean, we will take the sum over the amount. We'll take the sum over the amount. Group together things that work well. I'm going to put my halves together. So that'd be 9 plus a 5, that's 14, 20, 34, 42, 52, 62. Anyone else add it up? Come on, don't trust me.
I got it.
62. So 62 divided by how many data points did we have? 8. 62 divided by 8 is going to give us
7.75.
7.75.
So that's pretty close.
So the middle of my data, 7.5, and the average of my data is 7.75. We could then say, on average, because we don't normally say on mean. Mean is the mathematical word for finding the average. Average is how we communicate it to people. Some are more, some are less, but on average, the geyser erupts, Y-S-E-R, every 7 to 8 minutes. You could be specific and say 7.75. You could round and say 8. you are allowed to take some liberties when you communicate your information. So we could say 7:45, we could say approximately 8, we could say between 7 and 8. Now, we will hit some interesting situations when our measures of center don't really match up. What would it tell me if my median was way bigger than my average, or vice versa, if my average was way bigger than my median? So think about that for a second. If my median stayed the same, and my average was way bigger, what would make the average get way bigger? What here would have to change to make this answer come out larger?
Number of data points would have to be really low.
Either number of data points would have to be low.
Or the sum was really high.
Ooh, the sum could be really high. So even though 7.5 is in the middle, what if all of these data points, instead of being between like 7 and 10, what if they were like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes? Would my middle still be my middle? If there were still only 8 data points, and I still had these, and I just took this group of data points, so I guess say take these 3, what if these were 30, 40, and 50? Is my middle still where it is? Yeah, my data is still ordered, but my average would be way bigger. So again, your median wouldn't really tell you anything all that useful. But it's when we look at the average that these data points would skew our average, which is not what we want. But if that's the real data that we collected, maybe I have some skewed points or some skewed data based off points being so spread out. If some eruptions were every 5 minutes and other eruptions were every 30 to 40 minutes, that's really diverse data. Your data is not very close together. So we like to use these when data is close together. Let's finish up this got it, and then I'll pass back your guys' masteries, and we will just work on that for the rest of the time, probably. And obviously you can keep, like, if you get done with your mastery, and you want to keep working through your notes, you can keep working through and filling them out. Try this on your own. Be careful not to jump past the step 1. What do we need to do first? I spent the whole weekend with my family, so I did not give you guys any feedback on your masteries, and I'm not trying to have them back to you tomorrow because I'm not trying to stress you guys back. You get them back when we come back from Discovery Days.
Yay!
Julian, what is the first thing that we should do here? Now, you might just not be saying something, but before we can find the median, I have to do something. I fear that you maybe forgot your first step. Nish?
So when you find your median, find the numbers in order.
We have to put our data in order. You cannot work with unordered data. So me, that doesn't matter, but for median, we have to work with ordered data. Because think about it, when I add up a set of numbers, does order matter? No. But when I look at where is my middle, order matters. So,
That's for me.
oh, sorry, we want to do mean and median because we're going to compare these. So for mean, we don't have to order it, but for median, we always do have to order it. So let's just practice both of these because I haven't had you guys do median on your own. Our lowest value here would be 11, then 15, no, 14, then 15, then 19, 22, 23, 27, 28, 30. So when we look at how many data points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this one's easy. And this is why I wanted us to look at median here. Sorry that I forgot to write it on your notes, I normally just say it. So if I have 9 data points, where will my middle be? Jeremiah?
Well, it's gonna be easy, so just cross off one on the side, one on the back, and then one.
So to get one left over,
It's
how
just
many
gonna
should I
be-
take off each side?
2 or 1.
Only one? That's going to give me one
You
total.
can do it.
I'm trying to make you think mathematically. How many should I take off each side to get one left in the middle?
So there's 9, right?
There's not. 4. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, you're all gone. And 1, 2, 3, 4, you're all gone. This would be our median. Now let's compare how that relates to our average. So Ellie, do you know my sum?
Yes, the sum is 189
I got it in front of
over
me.
9.
No, it's
I know,
89.
89.
It's 89.
Over 9, right? Because we had
Which
9
is
terms.
21.
Yeah, it's
That becomes what?
21.
So my mean is 21. My median is 22. This means this is a pretty good data set. When these are really close, that tells us this is a good data set. And what good really means is that it's close together. It's representative. No crazy outliers. There's no values way smaller than any other ones. There's no values way bigger than any other ones. It's all pretty tight together. Any questions on measures of center? Tomorrow we'll get into measures of variability, which is how different things are. I do not, well actually you will not be able to work on the homework. I have not made it live and I do not want you to try it, so I'm not making it live. We need to talk about measures of variability before you guys try that homework.